What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and we have another update from the Greensboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram situation. And to be honest, if it wasn't on the state of North Carolina's letterhead, I wouldn't believe it. How dumb do you have to be as a dealership to ignore the state attorney? Pretty dumb. Guys, before we get into today's video, I got to talk about the sponsors here, and that is Morgan & Morgan Attorneys at Law. If you're looking for a personal injury attorney, there is no firm larger than Morgan & Morgan. They handled over 20 million phone calls in 2023 alone, and they make it exceptionally easy for you to get started. If you have a smartphone, you can get started in 8 clicks or less by going to forthepeople.com/TK's Garage. Again, that's forthepeople.com/TK's Garage. And I appreciate them for allowing me to do what I do. So guys, there's an update in the Greensboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram situation. This, I think, may be the worst dealership. I mean, and that's saying a lot, right? We deal with a lot of scumbag dealerships here on the channel. And I'm going to have more to expose for you here in the future. If you follow over on the community tab here on the channel, you'll see a couple of different upcoming dealerships that are going to get roasted just for some of their scumbag behavior. But this one with Greensboro, and this is not a long video, is ridiculous. The state attorney general's office and the Office of Consumer Protection, which is part of the attorney general's office, sent not one, not two, but now 3 separate letters asking them for a response. No response from their lawyers, no response from the staff at the dealership, no response from the corporate group that owns the dealership. It's like they basically know that they've committed criminal activity and they're literally just waiting for the district attorney for the state attorney general to refer it to the local district attorney as a criminal referral and have them come bust their ass. Because if I get a letter, and I'm just, as a business guy, if I get a letter from my state attorney general, I'm responding to that shit. I'm like this on the phone. Yo, what's up? What do we got to do to fix it? What's the situation? I don't need them coming in and destroying all my business and what's going on. Now, with cars being stolen from their dealership and all this other Mickey Mouse stuff that's been happening lately, I think they're on some insurance fraud type shit right now. I think this dealership is literally leaving high value cars out so that they can be stolen on purpose because they know they're about to get shut down. And if they can file the claim, maybe they can make their floor plan payments and it doesn't hurt the corporate auto group as much if they can minimize, as they call it, minimize the damage. The problem I have here with that situation is they're still trying to do business with consumers. And the other problem I have with this situation is I think the state attorney general also needs to look at the local media in the Greensboro market because they're clearly on the take. I mean, how can you have 3 certified letters from the attorney general's office and a dealership does not respond, not once, not twice, 3 times, and in the last letter, Bing, which we have over here, in the last letter, they literally say, hey, your lack of response tells us that y'all did some extracurricular scumbag activity. Pretty much, right? I mean, you can read it for yourself. The issue I have here is that I feel like the state is giving them enough time for them to try to hide a majority of the fraud. And that's a problem. This is such a mess. This is such a disaster that you would think the parent company of the auto group would have cleaned house, fired anybody that had anything to do with these fucking deals that had forgeries, fraud, and all this other crap on it. But they haven't. They haven't. You know, they say they fired the general manager, but now we're being told by people they work at the auto group, they just moved them to a different dealership. So this looks really bad. And it looks bad. Look, if you live in Greensboro, North Carolina, you would be an absolute fool if you bought a car from this dealership. You'd also be an absolute fool if you got your news from any of the local news stations in Greensboro. Sorry, I have to say it because we've put out so many documented facts and the documents from the state of North Carolina. And do you hear the local news covering this with them at all? No, they're on the take. They're getting paid money, and the money that they're getting paid for advertising is worth more to them than being honest and warning the community, which is their job as journalists. But hey, it is what it is, right? You guys can vote with not watching that local news in Greensboro. You can watch something else. Not only that, you could also vote by not doing business with the dealership. What do you guys think about them not responding to any of the letters from the state, and that this letter is so strongly worded from the state of North Carolina? Do you think that they're finally going to act and this dealership is going to get just bombarded and raided by the sheriff's department and probably the state police? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, stay petty, my friends.